good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. Can I do a quick sound check? Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me okay? Awesome. So we're just waiting for a few more people to join and then we'll get started. And yeah.
Hello guys, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining these spaces. Guys, whoever is supposed to be on the stage, please request speaking slots. W3 we have Benzel. Guys, please send us speaking requests and we will approve you. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Well, we're waiting for the rest of our panelists to join today's episode. Let me introduce myself. I'm Cody. I'm the Chief Experience Officer at Layer 1X. I am joined by our ex-co-host, Inna, as well as one of our community managers, Sam. If you guys want to say hi and introduce yourself.
Hey, good to be here. I think it's going to be a fun conversation as always. If you guys have any questions, I will be in the comments on the lookout for them. If you guys would like to come up on stage and then just request your mic and then I would approve the request. That's it from me.
Hey Amina, I take care of the spaces and I'm very, very lucky to have Cody and Sam leading it and creating an amazing conversation and keep everyone engaged and make this useful, educational and absolutely outstanding within the Web3 space. So yeah, I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted to support all of you, all of the participants, and thank you as usual for stepping in and sharing your experience, your insights, your opinions. That means the world, and let's go.
Don't forget fun. We got to have some fun while we're here, right?
Absolutely, so. always.
Well, that pretty much sums up the intro. So thanks, Anna. I appreciate that. If you're just tuning in to this episode or you haven't yet, please be sure to share the link out to this space. We would appreciate it. I agree with Anna and Sam that it's definitely going to be a good topic for today's discussion. So please make sure that you retweet that out. Likewise, be kind and definitely share and follow these panelists. I've seen a lot of familiar faces in that we've had up previously and that I've joined in other AMAs. So good to have you back. See some new faces as well. Can't wait to get to know you a little bit better. But definitely give these panelists a follow. They definitely deserve it. Giving up some of their busy schedule to come in and participate in these AMAs. It's definitely worthwhile to have them get a follow from you. So with that being said, let's just kind of jump in to today's topic, just kind of as an intro. We're going to be exploring some of the cutting edge trends and innovative technologies and some possibilities that are definitely transforming the gaming landscape in this next bull run. from the rise of cross-chain interoperability to groundbreaking UI UX designs, to the ever-evolving market strategies that many games put out there. Likewise, we're going to be trying to answer some complex ethical questions surrounding play-to-earn models and some other technology-based things as well. So it doesn't matter if you're just a gamer or if you're just a crypto investor just listening in. We think we've got some pretty good topics for you guys to listen to that will educate you on a wide variety of different things. So our panelists, for you guys, just some housekeeping rules. No need to really raise your hand. You can if you want. Just jump in if you feel like you've got something to add. That way we can kind of just keep things moving. Half the time, X doesn't even work, and so I can't even see you guys raising your hand. So instead of sitting there frantically pounding that wave button trying to get my attention, just feel free to jump in. If you are having problems hearing the other speakers, definitely drop off and come back on and to request. That usually tends to fix it. If it doesn't, jump over to the desktop or vice versa. Those usually help as well. So yeah, so with that, let's definitely get jumped in. We're almost 10 after right now. We're cutting into our time. So with that being said, let's start off by everybody doing their 30-second elevator pitch, and feel free to show your project, tell us what you're about, who's behind the account, so on and so forth. And let's start with Scott, and then you can hand it off to some other speaker as well.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Layer One. First of all, I don't appreciate you telling people to follow me because you know I never answer my DMs. I don't want that kind of responsibility, Layer One. Just kidding. Good morning. So, hey, everyone, I'm Scott Herman, one of the co-founders of WAGMI Games. We're a mobile gaming studio. Our first game, WAGMI Defense, is currently in beta. If I were to compare it to gameplay you might be familiar with, I would say Clash Royale. So not exactly tower defense, more like real-time strategy. And you actually own all of the NFTs that you acquire as you play the game. We actually are doing a special event this week where you're going to earn a lot of the in-game soft currency, which you can use to open up your war chests. So if you want to jump on WAGMI and get more involved, shoot me a DM. And we actually just released our anime trailer about a week and a half ago. And for those of you who have not seen it yet, make sure you scroll up. I'm going to pin it to the top of this space. So thank you so much for having me here. Looking forward to the conversation. I'm going to pass it over to my friend Medieval Empires next.
Hey, good morning. This is Luke from Medieval Empires. I'm the BD in marketing. And, I lost the message that we had because my other account or my personal account was banned, from X. So I'm here with the main handle. And what we do is, we have a game called Medieval Empires, where you can slay invaders, on your land. You build your town and, just have fun playing together with your friends. We're shortly before our open beta, which releases tomorrow. And just happy to see what kind of trends and innovations you guys have, so we can copy it and implement it in our game as well.
Amazing. Guys, I will interrupt really quickly. Please feel free to drop any links in comment sections, share your project, share your game, share your community links. This is a very safe space. We are not going to, punish you for that. We're here for that reason, and we will be more than happy if users and listeners from other communities find something else for themselves. This is that's the whole purpose. That's why please share your stuff. Don't be shy. And Pixel Realm, let's go.
Hello. Thank you very much, Ina, for inviting me, and great to hear you again, Cody. And I recognize a lot of voices from another gaming Twitter spaces. I'm Sam. I'm a chief something officer in Pixel Realm marketing. And what we're doing is we are a gaming studio. We have 2 games in development. It's a little bit too early to speak about those. We're also an incubator. and we're incubating some gaming projects, and we're functioning most actively currently as a gaming launchpad. And right now, actually, like 13 minutes ago, we just implemented Oasis Sapphire into our launchpad. So basically, we have NFT Mint, which is allowing sealed bid auctions. What that means is that you don't know how much are the others bidding, so it doesn't turn into guess war, but all the bids are sealed, and the biggest bid, of course, gets the NFTs. And there's more about like privacy in blockchain gaming that is coming thanks to Oasis being integrated, but I won't fit it into the 30-second speech, so maybe we will get it later. Thank you very much for having me.
Perfect. Who are you passing it off to?
Hey, Sam, you need to pass it on to someone.
Oh,
Pick your
okay.
poison, pick your
Okay,
poison.
Don't leave us hanging.
Okay, so sorry. So I'm passing the mic to Marto. I believe I spoke with Marto on the space last week. So Marto, there you go.
Yeah. It was about the gaming. Thanks, man. Hello, everyone. So happy to be here. I love being in spaces because it's one of the best options and opportunities to learn about the latest trends and innovations. And I'm a gamer myself. So blockchain gaming, it's a topic that presents interest. My name is Mars Martoxan. I'm actually the founder of Zshares. It's an AI-driven social fi ecosystem, and it's designed to solve the challenges that Web3 projects face in growing and developing their genuine communities, So basically, every gaming company and the project will need us. And I made an exit with 7 figures a few years ago. However, I cannot settle. I cannot find my... I cannot enjoy my retirement, so I need to be part of the action. You know what I mean? So here I am, building and innovating in Web3 space. So I can't wait to dive deep into today's topic. Let's go to the Wenzel. Wenzel, are you with us?
I think I can speak for Wenzel because we're from the same team. So I'm the founder alongside with Wenzel of Level. And what we do is that we provide a Web3 infrastructure layer that will power the next generation of games and virtual worlds. We offer a game creation and publishing toolkit, so developers can build and publish their games in a fully white labeled environment. We offer P2P servers. We can use that instead of AWS and other centralized providers, and creative tools like NFTs, tokens, and smart contracts that you can integrate with UX abstraction techniques. We have around 140 games and worlds published on our infrastructure and part of the NVIDIA Inception Accelerator, and excited to be here.
All right.
I will pass it on to, I guess we are kind of, I think most of the people have spoken, but I can always pass it on to, I'm not sure.
I can go
Let's
ahead.
go to Bastion. We have Bastion somewhere here.
Bastion.
Yes, definitely. I know them so well. I'm so happy to see them.
Okay, Bastian, go ahead.
Thank you, Ina. So happy to see you guys here. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Tiwa. I'm the co-founder and CMO of Hot Night Studios. Our premier game is Bastion, the account I'm on right now. It's a 4K fighting game, Brutality. If you ever played Chivalry or Baldur's Gate, that type of gameplay. Developing the demo now, should be done by the end of this month. And what you can expect from it is our developer, our CTO, he has 10 plus years working at Crytek, worked on games like Far Cry, Crysis Remastered. So that's what he's trying to bring to the blockchain space. Don't have to tell you twice, the past few years in blockchain gaming have been disappointing, but we're all here to change that, right? So that's why we're doing the spaces, collaborating and meeting with like minds, because the people here in the mud building right now are those that are going to be here lasting in a few years going forward, I believe. So really great to be on here, guys. I'll share a live stream we just had recently. We try to do weekly live streams going forward, so you can actually see the demo being built out, and you can kind of have a first row seat at it. The recent live stream, you can see some of our AI enemies, some of the 4K arena scenes, and get a little bit of a sense of what we're bringing to the field. So really great to be on here. Excited for what we talk about today. And thank you for the invitation.
Yes,
By
and
the way, your
go.
voice, sorry to cut you off, but your voice sounds like the person that says EA Sports. It's in the game.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's
Thank you.
classic.
That's good, yeah.
Thank you. We're going to be
Um,
doing some voiceover for the game too, so look out for that. Appreciate it.
Of
oh,
course, 100%.
that's way cool. Cody Fights, let's have you go, and then Mark D, if you want to close us out, we'll get into our first question.
GM, GA, G evening. Yeah, I'm Brudo, one of the founders and chief of, someone said, anything or everything. Yeah, so we wrap it up as a growth of Codified. We have a live game. What we're building is AI, is a gaming platform for AI and humans. So currently we have a live game with 40K plus players registered. Yeah, I'm pretty hyped because it's only 2 days left before our CTalk listing. And yeah, we've been building for last 3 years, basically to survive the bear. And this is the milestone we are at, which for which we've been waiting for quite a while. Yeah, so if you're curious what Codified is, it's for tech-savvy players as well for casual players. You can play by PC, mobile, and API. Even if you have a smart fridge, so you can play Codified as well. The game is chess on steroids. So yeah, hop on our website, check it out. It's free to play to start, and then later on you can definitely develop into our economy. Shall I pass the word to Mark D then?
Hey, what's up? Good morning. So I'm Mark D, aka King Snooch, content creator, host some Twitter Spaces. Also community liaison for Dark Times, and also an ambassador for Waggy Games. What's up, Scott? Good morning, brother. Here to support. Can't wait to get into this conversation. Love it. Let's go.
Perfect. Well, thanks everybody for joining our panel this morning. As our listeners can tell, we've definitely got a great lineup of experts in their field regarding this topic today. So if you're just tuning in, my name is Cody. I'm the Chief Experience Officer here at Layer 1X. Please go ahead and share this link to this episode because it's definitely going to be a game changer topic. And likewise, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comment threads below. And we will bring those up to our panelists to answer a little bit later in the episode. But first, let's jump in with the first question. Since we've all been pretty much on a lot of AMAs around games, I tried to stay away from some of the, hey, what are the next trends going to be kind of question, because I think we've beat that dead horse already. So the first question I want to ask is primarily around gamification and addictive UI UX elements that are being put into known as persuasive technology have been a growing trend in Web 2 and mobile games. And so as we start coming over into the blockchain gaming, as we start seeing this come over, what are kind of the ethical stakes that we have to balance between real world value versus basically protecting our players from potential harmful behaviors and manipulation happening in Web3? Is self-regulation enough, or do we need an external oversight? Go ahead, Scott.
Thank you very much. It's actually a really good question for me to answer because it's something that I think about quite often and had thought about since the beginning when we first started WAGMI Games. Because, I'm like all of you. I came into this space as a gamer looking for, what is the next big thing? Why is Web3 gaming so important? What always drew me in was, the token being a utility token in the game. That's where it made the most sense. similar to like COD points or V-Bucks, right? Gamers are already familiar with this. And for NFTs, those need to be something that can be collected. And then if you so choose to participate in the secondary market, you can. But if you don't want to, it's not a requirement. Now, in WAGMI Defense, we have a really great system where players are winning battles. When they win a battle, they receive a war chest. And depending on what rank they are, that war chest can contain anywhere from 3 to 6 in-game NFTs. And we have a seasonal NFT system with our characters where if you collect 5 commons of the same character, there's an evolution system where you can combine them to create a rare, and then 5 rares make an epic, and 5 epics make a legendary. What's actually happening in the game is that as you're upgrading these cards, they're burning. And if you go to a Mutascan, you can actually see the burns and the mints happening all day long. But to the traditional Web2 player, they're just doing a cool in-game function. Evolving your cards is not required. It's not something that you have to do. And it's also not required to be a top player in the game. In fact, you can have a full deck of common cards and still be competitive and defeat people who have a full legendary deck, because at the end of the day, it comes down to strategy. But we love collectability. We're gamers, right? So obviously the legendary cards look much cooler. But the power spread from common to legendary is only something like 5%. So it's enough to make you want to grind for it. But if you don't make it to legendary by the time the season ends, it's also not a big deal. And you don't feel like you have to go and spend money to go get those cards. Now, with that being said, what we've noticed over the course of the last few months being in beta is that our players are having just as much fun playing the game and battling each other as they are evolving their cards, trying to complete their decks before the season ends. For those of you that are new to WAGMI games, when I say season, understand that it's always the same characters in the game, right? It wouldn't be a well-balanced PvP game if there was new characters coming out all the time. It's just that with the evolution system, if you, for example, want to upgrade your beta cards from common to legendary, you would need other beta cards to do that. So right now we're in preseason. So everyone right now is upgrading their preseason cards. And what we've seen happen is this healthy transition of more and more people logging into Token Trove to buy, sell, and trade their cards with other players. And guys, I mean, some of these cards, like, they're 12 cents, 15 cents, 30 cents, right, for the commons. But then as you go up in rarity, depending on what you need, maybe you're spending $5, maybe you're spending $7. And then for the really hard ones to get, you might see them go for like, $30, right, $40. But at the end of the day, you can still grind for these cards on your own for free just by playing the game. So what it really breaks down to is, for those of you who play a lot of gacha games, I've been playing Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle for about 8 years. I don't know if that makes me cool or not, but it's one of my favorite games. It's the microtransactions that really allow a mobile game to flourish. And the way I always thought about it was, this is a game that I play. I'm speaking about Dokkan Battle right now. Dokkan Battle is a game that I literally have been playing almost every day for about 8 years, because the live ops are great. I love Dragon Ball Z. I love all the characters that come out. I like evolving my cards. It's challenging to me, right? It's not a simple kind of like just sit there and click mobile game. It's actually a game that you'll get pretty frustrated and pissed off when you lose a battle, and you'll try again and again. That's the experience. I grew up playing video games my entire life, and now I have a game on my phone that is free to play but has updates all the time, and if I want to enjoy the game more, I can spend some money to do different things or buy more Dragon Stones to do more summons and things like that, right? But I don't have to. And that's what makes mobile gaming so fun, is the experience can continue to evolve, unlike a traditional, a cartridge game, right? Where you just get what came in the box. So I think it's this healthy back and forth between what a player can do for free and then what they can do if they so choose to participate in the in-game economy, and now with NFTs, the secondary market.
No, that makes total sense. So is it safe to say, Scott, that people that play your game play with a full deck?
Oh yeah,
Sorry, Dad.
100%.
That's a dad joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Too early for a Monday, but anyways, yeah, thanks. That was great. I think Cody Fight, you had your hand up first, and then we'll go to Pixel Realm.
Cheers. Actually, could you just briefly repeat the question, like in the shortened form, before delving into?
Yeah, for sure. So gamification and addictive UI UX elements known as persuasive technology has been a growing trend, which has been also a concern in traditional Web 2 and gaming, and mobile. As we merge into a kind of like a Web 3, thing, how do we balance between protecting the end user from harmful behaviors and manipulation and balancing that real world value, which is at stake? Is regulation required, or do we need an external oversight?
Yeah. Okay. That part about the regulation, I think, as we are in really innovative market, and the blockchain is still a new tech. I think it's too early for the regulations, and I think we are in the space where trust and transparency build strong bonds, and again the community involvement. I think it's one of the pillars of building games in space. With Codified, we started journey slightly from the other angle. We built everything off chain. Been looking in space what is the best, as we are all gamers building this game. So what is the best we can take from the chain and bring it in the game, bring it for the player. So definitely ownership is sort of the first answer. I really liked how Scott mentioned about WAGMI games, and it's very interesting to see that builders, they have the same similar approach. We are just finishing pre-season, and the idea was to test the game loop. It's free to play. You get your codified character. There are 7 different classes, 5 rarities. You start grinding. You unlock new skins. And the idea that at the end of the season, the most devoted players, the players who achieve the most, they get the right to mint the codifier out. And we added a spin to have a codified as a collectible, that every season there are 7 new classes of codifiers being released. And if you want to get, previous season or whatever, season 1 codifier, then you have to go back to players, the marketplace, and try to find one if you didn't unlock that. Still, riding on Scott's idea that, the balancing, so that the common can actually challenge, the legendary, and vice versa. And I think this is very important factor. To have a fun game and to give a possibility for every player, to challenge and be challenged. And I think that's where the most balance, and that's where the most involvement from the community is needed. So, we took a step forward and actually took, we have seven gamers from our community who constantly test and break our systems on dev server, and as well they contribute heavily for the game design and live ops, indeed. So, otherwise, if you're not balancing, if you're not adapting to the environment, a community will eat you alive, and you're gonna be, one of the dead projects. And that's it. So if you, trust your community, if you have a bond with them, you're definitely gonna move forward, and you don't need any regulations if you have a good feedback loop.
Yeah, great insight there. Pixel Realm.
Thank you. This is a great question, and You know, like I'm looking at it like from my own personal like perspective, because I have an addictive like personality. I am in recovery for, you know, almost 10 years in 1 month, if I'm not going to mess up. And when I look at it, is like before, like I don't think people make things make people addictive. There is something broken in people or any of us which then abuse addictive or, you know, whatever substances. But the broken part comes from the human. It doesn't come, there's a, you know, like I see people which can enjoy a glass of wine with a dinner and it's perfectly okay. I can never do it. You know, for me, that's like off the limits. And I think it's same with the gaming. And like even in gaming, I would say there's nothing more addictive than fun game. Like having a new card per day, or, you know, coming back for, you know, coins or something. It's like, it cannot be matched, you know, compared to, you know, like when you leave, I don't know, Last of Us with a cliffhanger, and you just, you know, like the next day it's just like, oh, what's going to happen in the next scene? Like, is she going to make it or whatever? Like, I think this is way more. And I also feel like, hey, you know, like unless we are promoting the product in a faulty way, like, let be people grow ups. Like, some people are going to get hurt using products. Like, some people are going to get hurt using cars. We can't ban cars. You know, that's kind of how I look at it. And I feel like as a society, we're just like trying to have a right and protection from everything while not having responsibility for anything. So as long as these things are promoted responsibly, and I think this really comes down to everyone's like personal ethics, you know, like Coca-Cola. I haven't seen Coca-Cola, you know, use an obese person in their commercial, and everybody's kind of okay with it. But what we also do as a Pixel is like, when we're launching a project, well, you know, what we can do is we can have refund policies. So we can protect our users from the project not being what they're saying they are. So for example, okay, if you guys, you know, if you have a successful raise, we're holding your tokens until 24 hours that you get listed on an exchange. And only then we're going to release them. Until then, we're going to protect our users, because we are taking that responsibility for it. You know, like our users are looking to raise for games, you know, which are going to get developed most likely. And we are sort of like a guarantee for this. And if the token rugs or doesn't get listed, well, then we just refund them the money. So I think this is what we can do. This is what we can sort of like ease up in the journey to make sure that what is promoted is kind of like delivered. And I seen it personally, like and I'm not going to name them, like one of our like almost fastest selling projects then like came back to us and they were just like, hey, can we get that money? We really need it for marketing. And we're like, we're very happy to refund you, but we will refund you the token, but we really can't give you our users finance, because I think that's where we would be doing something that is like ethically off. You know, when we promise we're going to protect you from this and then we won't. So yeah, that's my take on it.
No, that's really cool. I like that. I like that approach with it. Web3, go for it. Sorry, W3. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm assuming
my Red Bull hasn't kicked in. Sorry.
I think the fundamental problem is, you know, greed and corruption, and you know, companies and studios setting out to optimize for shareholder value versus community or network value, if you will, because it just ends up, you know, trying to extract as much money as possible, introducing, you know, unhealthy game mechanics. And I think that the way to solve it is to rather optimize for community and network value by, you know, decentralizing, you know, governance, maybe not like end to end from start, but gradually, involving seniors in the community that can educate new and younger users about, you know, how the game works, how you can play it in a healthy way, and even, you know, suggest changes to the game that's better for people. So I think that, you know, involving the community in decision making, giving them power to decide is a great start, because imagine you're you know nothing about Web3 and you just found this cool game and you just start to play it without knowing anything, you can quickly get abused and scammed. So I think that's my kind of answer to that question.
No, I love it. Mardo.
Yeah, I just want.
Yeah, so
I just wanted to add something. There are lots of situations, and some of them was amazingly well explained by Pixel Realm and by other speakers. And if we are talking about the trust, we can. I think we all have enough of trust me, bro, in Web3 space, and maybe we can use ZKML for trust and transparency on different situations. If you don't know what ZK proofs, ZK pass, are actually cryptographic methods that allow one of party to prove to another one that the statement is true. So basically, without revealing any information apart from the fact that the statement indeed is true. Let me give you an example. For example, by using ZKML, let's say game developers can prove that they are handling the data in an ethical way. Let's say in compliance with privacy regulation like GDPR in Europe, and I think it's CCPA or something in other countries, and everything without disclosing the data itself. And I think using ZKML, we can build that trust with players by ensuring them that their personal information is not being misused or overly harvested. But this is just one example, because basically there are lots of ways of, for example, you can reduce cheating and fraud, because with ZKML, we can help verify player action and the integrity of in-game transaction without revealing their personal information or strategies, And I think this is something that it should be explored in the near future, because we are planning to use it in our gamification system inside the Zesh to prove that our rewarding system is fair for everyone, and we do not discriminate or do everything what we say,
I love that. Mark D, did you say you had something? You had your hand up?
yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened. I just forced closed my app on my phone. But yeah, so I got a little bit of a feel on this. I kind of look at it like this, right? When I look at playing a game and it's got some cool ass advertisement that says this game is going to be great, this game is going to be awesome. There's opportunities for you to go buy stuff if you want. I'm going to play the game for a week or two and see if the game is actually what it says it is before I'm going to go ahead and invest in it. You look at perfect example are some of these mobile games that are out there, right? They put this advertisement of this cool, addictive looking game, but the gameplay itself isn't anything like the advertisement at all whatsoever. Is that wrong? In my eyes, yeah, it's wrong, but you know what? It's on the user to do the little bit of research of opening the game, checking it out before you go invest in it. The issue I see right now is there's too many damn degens out there that are just going to invest in something because somebody says it's great, or somebody says, hey, I think this thing's going to moon, and they just dump a bunch of money into it. Is that wrong? Hey, if somebody's got the money to blow, go ahead, do it. But at the end of the day, I don't think anybody needs to be like a secondary, judge and jury as to whether or not somebody is leading people on. I think that's part of advertisement, as shitty as it sounds, and as terrible as it sounds, it's advertisement, right? You want to get people to look at your product. You want to make it look as cool as you possibly can. Now, I would say it's kind of like a gray line, right? Like, if you're going to say in your advertisement, we guarantee that you're going to make money on our project, that's different than saying, hey, our project has a great opportunity for you to get a whole bunch of money out of it. Like, there's ways around it. I don't see a need for any type of policing of it. I think our community in Web3 is so small that if somebody recognizes that a project is, being shitty about their advertisement and advertising something that's not really there, word's going to spread, and it's going to spread fast. And then everybody's going to know about it. Nobody's going to want anything to do with it. So that's kind of like my take on it. And then on top of that, as far as like the addictive tendencies of some of these games and stuff, do you see people going after casino because it's addictive? No. If you've got a problem with addiction, you don't go to a casino.
Yeah, plus the state is getting tons of tax from casinos, so I don't see them jumping in to help out either. But anyways, that's a different topic for a different episode, I guess. But yeah, I definitely
I
agree.
like Mark's take. It's like,
Yeah.
if you have a problem, fucking avoid the problem, dumbass. That's basically what he's saying. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
go to the casino.
Yeah,
I
sorry,
have a
I'm not
problem.
guilty.
I love roulette too much. I stay
Nice.
the hell away from the roulette table. Or, I go to the ATM, I take out X amount of money, and then I put my wallet away, and once the money's gone, I leave. You got to have standards that you set for yourself if you have a gambling issue.
Well, I was
Now, with that
This
being
is
said, I totally have an addiction to a mobile game that I play that I'm freaking hooked on it. Like Scott was saying, every day I'm playing this thing. I've been playing it for a while. Is it addiction? I wouldn't say it's an addiction as much as it's something I really enjoy doing every day. Now, if I miss a day, do I go into like some kind of withdrawals and like start punching people in the face and stealing their money so I go play the game? No, it's not crazy. I just, shit,
Well,
I
at
missed
least
a
not
day.
anymore, right, Mark?
What's that? Sorry?
I said at least not anymore.
No,
You don't
I
do that
gave that shit up a
anymore.
while ago.
Well, to be honest, I was hoping that Game of Silks would have been on, so I could have asked them if they had a problem with betting on the ponies. But so if you guys don't know who Game of Silks are, they're a pretty cool game. I'd recommend going and look at them because they have real world assets where they have Kentucky Derby type horses that you can basically bet on type of thing. So, but yeah. Anyways. Let's move on to the next question. Before I do, if you guys have any questions, please be sure to drop those down in the comments below. And then, likewise, we're having a pretty good discussion here. Please make sure that you share out the episode or the episode link as well, so that we can get some love on this and get some more eyeballs. It's definitely a good conversation. So, Mark, you brought up a good topic that I kind of want to keep the discussion going around, and that is definitely around the true ownership of in-game assets, right? And so if we look at the concept of true ownership of in-game assets as a cornerstone of the blockchain gaming theme, what happens when ownership becomes more of a burden rather than a benefit? Could the complexities of managing, trading, and securing these assets create more barriers for entry for casual gamers? And what strategies could mitigate this risk?
So I think I would just hop on the mic real quick. Thank you guys for the question, for the time. Coming from somebody who, like, all of us are gamer, right? I mean, I grew up in World of Warcraft, Maple Story, RuneScape, Halo, these type of games, right? So in these games, there are people who they love to raid, they love to do PvE, and then there's some people who love to just sit in the auction house and trade and make money that way. So I think your game will give you different ways to scratch your itch. Maybe you like to trade NFTs, you like to play the game that way, or maybe you like to fight monsters, fight PvP, and have fun that way as well. So just you're gonna have different ways to get your fix, and that's the fun of a game. It shouldn't just be one sided. It should have an opportunity for all sorts of different gamers, and that's why you have a community that consistently increases. That's why you have people consistently playing your game. You need to create an ecosystem. And an ecosystem has many moving parts, and it has fun for all. And it always sounds very cliche, but when you're actually trying to achieve that, everything will fall into place. When you're actually trying to achieve that fun, that game that people don't want to put down, that game that people are creating user-generated content about, that game that people are telling their friends about, not because you can make money, but because it's fun, because that they can't stop thinking about it. That when you bring that type of experience to your game, then everything else will make sense. And there will be a place for those who want to trade, those who want to play PvP, PvE, and all of that.
Love it. Cody, fight. Go for it.
Yeah, that's actually quite a good question, and especially for those who are coming to the space now, still you see there are a lot of technical complexities, and yeah, your life can be pretty messed up. But when looking in the past, you see gamers are creative animals, and in this case, every game, despite they have a marketplace, there's always a way how players will figure out, how to spin the skins, and start trading around. So in this case, I don't think that this is like completely, new in the ecosystem. Then talking about the nature of the game, the type. So as I heard, Scott speaking about, cards and trading. Yes, exactly. If you choose this type of game, you most likely, you like to trade. And then others, they might not be bothered. They focus on grinding and so on. And I think as well, when looking at profiles of gamers as such, 80% or so are communicators. They like to communicate. So there's definitely gonna be at some point, when those two sides who want to invest and those who want to grind and progress and explore the game and unlock new things, they're gonna meet somewhere and they're gonna make the deal. So even without incentivizing trading, this is gonna be achieved naturally as we've seen in any games. Then having wallets and so on, it's down to us builders to make sure that all these things are working seamlessly under the hood. The player, the end user, they will see one button, they click that button, and if there are multi-sig operations or transactions being sent off chain, on chain, they shouldn't see that. They shouldn't care about that, because the end experience is the end and the fun experience is all they came to this game. Yeah, so that would be good if I take on this.
Nailed it. Definitely nailed it. Great insight. Mark, go for it.
Let me just retouch on this question, right? So, like, from what I understood from the question is, what happens when you've got so many assets in a game that it becomes more of a burden than an enjoyment of playing the game? Is that correct?
You got it, my friend. Go for it.
Okay, so my understanding of the absolute solution for this is rental protocols. I think that's a great option. For example, I own quite a few assets from the Red Village, over 200 of them actually, and managing all of those is near impossible for me to do. But if I decide I want to rent 50 of them out, I can just put them on the IQ protocol marketplace, and other people can rent it. I can take a small profit of it. I can do it for free if I want, or there's a lot of options. So I don't know about other projects and other rental protocols that are out there, but I think that's the solution when you get to a project that your assets become so overwhelming where people are holding, 200, 400, 500 of these assets and trying to manage all of them. I think the solution's a rental protocol.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Pixel Room, go for it.
Yeah, I love what's being said here so far, and I also feel like, hey, all of these technologies, like they make sense if we use them not just because of technologies, but they give us something. So all of this, like the true ownership, I think it could be literally explained to somebody who doesn't know anything about Web3 in 2 sentences. Like, hey, you play the game and you are the only owner of this house. And that's it. He doesn't need to know that, there's like NFTs and smart contracts and on-chain, off-chain. Like, he doesn't need to know. Like, or you tell to somebody like, hey, you can actually buy this building in GTA and you are the only person who's going to own it. And once again, they don't need to know to find that really cool. And I forgot who this is, but one of our hosts actually worked on Crysis, and I think this is what happened with Crysis. They were just like ticking off all these like boxes of special graphics, effects, and everything, and it ended up like nobody could actually play the game at the release, and that's why they did the Crysis remaster, 15 years later, so that the computers actually caught up and the game became cool. But it wasn't enough, just checking all the tech features. So I think, like, yes, if we can communicate this and make the game appealing, the true ownership to the player, but nobody's going to care about true ownership in a shitty game. Like, true ownership means in something in a game I care about. and then like hiding this behind like, hey, you're the real owner. And if you're a Web3 knowledgeable and want to take it like beyond that, maybe you want to take the hotel you own in GTA 5 to the markets, well, then you can do all your detail and stuff. Or if you're interested, like you can like figure it out how to sell it to somebody else. And then you can get into it. But if the feature is fun itself, then we can completely hide all the Web3 aspects and like the aspects and just hide it behind the words, you're the true owner. It's the only item, and that's it. That's all they need to know.
Yeah, good call out there. Some great points. Bastian, if you want to go next.
Absolutely. So all the points, I completely agree with them. One I would just add to is interoperability. Obviously, with all these different blockchains and different games, what will make sense is finding a way to talk to them, and it's going to make the trading easier as well. And people mentioned seamlessness, and I think that's the top point, because as soon as you get into a game and it becomes arduous, becomes a job, you're not going to have a user base to stay. So that's a huge problem. I definitely champion everyone to go watch, if you haven't, the Social Network. And watching it as a developer, as a founder, it gives you a new light. I know obviously it's about Facebook, but it's definitely applicable in everything that we're doing. For example, the reason that Facebook was such a success, because it wasn't, they figured out, why people were actually on the platform. It's not to to date or anything like that, but it's actually to have that social human connection, to find friends, to see whose friends are in classes, to see whose friends are friends, and things like that. So when you play on that social connection, when you realize that humans are playing your games and do things to make humans touch into that human nature, make them be able to have that connection in different ways in your game, you'll find that they will stay on there. And the things that bring confusion in terms of having too many trading assets and maybe not having a way to manage them, those things will fade into the background when you make that process seamless. Going on Facebook again, if you look at the Facebook Marketplace, it didn't start that way, right? Now it's actually, there's a lot of people who use Facebook Marketplace, but at the beginning it wasn't that way because it was a new thing and they hadn't found a way to make it seamless. But they tweaked one thing, added one thing based on what the user said, and then made it so seamless. Now you can do 2-3 clicks and boom, you're selling something. So when you make it that seamless, then you find people will stay on and will fade into the background.
No, I love that. And I think another video that I would recommend that you look into it as well is on, it's called The Social Dilemma. If you have Netflix, I definitely recommend checking that out. That talks a lot about persuasive technology that we were kind of touching upon in our first question. So great feedback. Sam, I think we have a community question. Do you want to introduce who we've got?
Yeah, for sure. So I was looking through the comments for questions, but unfortunately the comments do not have any question. But we do have one of our OG members from Layer 1X, Sleazy. He has been with Layer 1X since day one. He's very supportive, doing lots of stuff on our Discord as well. Sleazy, would you like to unmute yourself, give an introduction, and maybe please ask a question as well?
Yes, hello. I was actually going to make a statement, but I guess I can make it as a question as well for the panel. I would say that, by the way, I'm Sleazy Slimy from the Linux community. Sam introduced me very well. My question is, do you think that the concept of ownership is actually that new? That is actually more of a Web3 thing than a Web2 thing? I used to play WoW, and if I remember correctly, because I didn't touch the end game that well, what they did is you can buy a coin for real money. You can then sell the coin for in-game currency, which the market determines how much that coin is worth because they do have inflation. And then for that coin, you can buy in-game items that are exclusively from their marketplace. And then other people can buy that coin and then they can sell it for real money. That sounds a lot like Web3. So I would think that the barrier is more psychological because those things already exist. There's another popular game, I think it's Minecraft, where you can actually sell for hundreds of dollars some items. So, yeah, so the question again, do you think that this is actually a new thing or that we just have to reframe a bit the mindset.
One question for you. If before blockchain, there was a thing, right? When everything is centralized, what happens if the company decide to wrap it up and leave? Everything will be just lost, right? And through decentralization, you actually own those tokens inside games. However, the problem is, and how I see the things is, that most games don't have a full game in on the blockchain side. However, I think Pixel Moon and others could reply much better than me.
Yeah, sure. I'd probably hop in. Really good take, Marto, on this, and thanks for the question. As I mentioned previously, yes, the ownership is not a new thing, because we see marketplaces, with all the games, and players will definitely find, Clash of Clans and Royale accounts being sold. If you look from that perspective, and yes, the mechanics they depend on the trust of that centralized entity, and it depends all on the creators. I think there is a little bit of extension with what's happening on chain. So, not only apart from that you own the assets, I think as well the important aspect is coming how can you use those assets. And yeah, the scenario might be that the game builder collapses, but then there is always a chance the community can take over it, or the investors. And continue that, and still, all the community, they have those assets, and they can use further on. At the same time, touching that interoperability question, and there are already, quite many projects who are riding on this wave. Like, it would come in, burn the NFT of unsuccessful project, and we will give something from our ecosystem. And that's actually, first step of interoperability, if you look from that. So definitely this topic is not new, but I think with the chain, we just add on top layers and more unlocking more use cases.
I didn't see
Hey
who's.
guys, I have to jump down real quick. I just wanted to say thanks for having me this morning. I hope you'll have a great day, great week.
You too, Scott. Thanks for coming. We appreciate you.
And thank you, everyone.
Bye, Scott.
I have to also jump on the call. So thank you very much, everyone. Love being
Thanks. Thanks, Sam. Okay, Medieval, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that like games can still pop up and leave. Like the ownership doesn't mean that you own the assets, but you still need to be careful, because like just because you own it doesn't mean that the game can still crash, or like the people can still leave and your assets go down to zero because no one will buy it anymore. Ownership is great, but you also still need to be careful on what you buy and all that kind of stuff. And it's not a new thing. Like that's what we mentioned a couple of times. Ownership in game is just more official than it was before. Like before, I sometimes needed to drop in a dark alley in World of Warcraft, drop a sword and hope that the guy next to it then drops some gold and I actually get what I paid for, or you could sell it in the dark web on some shady eBay platforms or whatever. So it's just more official. You have the real ownership, so you can verify if that person that claims to have that cool item actually has the item, and then you can go through official channels. It's all more legal, but still the ownership, just to stress that again, be careful, because also some contracts from the NFT collections also have features in that they can still reclaim items and everything, and that it's adjustable. So just don't blindly, hey, I have an NFT in my pocket and now it just belongs to me and no one can change it. Some people even have it that they completely change the whole NFT that you have in your or based on the contract. So just be careful about that. But besides that, I don't want to make some red flags for everyone joining, because there are lots of really cool games that have cool stuff that you can own on the blockchain. Just wanted to mention also, be careful. There are some games that don't have real ownership. They just have it on the outside maybe, or that you can still change things. Don't blindly jump into everything. But yeah, ownership is definitely the future. And just still check the game behind it. We had on the first topic, I just wanted to mention that as well. There's a lot of people that do fake engagements. They just build a bubble of cool promises that they make, and then nothing happens. They overpromise and underdeliver. We try to do a different, like, we don't say, hey, we are the biggest and best games and everything will come. We will have this and that, and then nothing comes. So we try to keep it to a minimum that we announce and then just put out the things, continuously build. But still people often have the problem that they fall for those, I wouldn't call them scams, but money grabs. That's maybe better. Like, they have a fancy trailer, they just put out information, you think like, hey, that's the next thing, and you buy the top again, and then it's going down. You want to sell it, but there's no one that wants to buy it because there's no game out. So just be careful. That's what I wanted to add to that topic as well, because it's not all flowers in Web3, but yeah, it's nothing new. Like that's in all games that you have there, that you can sell things, but on the blockchain, it's rather more official and you can trace it back.
100%. Great insight. Looks like Mark, did you have your hand up? Nope, he just bailed. Bastian, let's go to you.
Excellent. So one thing I would add too is that we mentioned interoperability, but I think it's very key too to not just try to be connected to Web3 games, but look out to connect to Web2 games, because that, I believe, is what's missing a lot in our gameplay. I'm talking about Web3 games in general. A lot of these Web2 games are and companies looking for a way to properly intersect the Web3 crowd, and they're fumbling it, just like a lot of Web3 people are fumbling the way to get to Web2. So if you just find, I mean, it's going to be difficult, but when you're building on that and have that in mind, I believe that would be a way to capture that audience as well. Because we mentioned having a seamless experience, but whenever you were trading before, talking about being able to trade assets and how that's an old thing coming again. But again, it was very centralized before. You didn't have a lot of power. You could trade things on World of Warcraft, but you were banned a lot of times if you tried to sell and make real money from it outside. So it was very restricting, and there were a lot of people who took advantage of that with botting and all things like that. So it was very manipulatable. So you want to be able to have something on a blockchain, a ledger, so you can know for sure what you're getting. And it might not be fully decentralized, but at least it's not as central as it was before Web2 games.
No, that makes total sense. Mark, go for it.
Yeah, sorry, Elon's loving me today. So I'm going to give you like a little bit of an analogy, and maybe this will make things seem a little simpler. Let's say I start playing World of Warcraft, right? And I collect a bunch of stuff. I got my rewards, and I started losing interest in the game, and I decide, you know what? I want to go play some Fortnite. So I go play Fortnite. Well, now all those assets that I have from World of Warcraft are basically useless. So I play Fortnite for a while, right? I'm really digging it. I clear a whole bunch on the battle pass. I buy some V-Bucks. I get a couple of skins. And after, 2 or 3 months, I realize, this is really not doing it for me. I want to go over to CSGO. I want to start playing CSGO. I start doing that. Same thing, Then I realize, you know what? It's not doing it for me. I want to go over to Clash of Clans and play that. Every time I move to a different game, I'm starting completely fresh. Yes, you own the asset in the game, but that's it. It's just in the game. You can do whatever you want in the game with it, but you can't do anything interoperably. Now, let's switch over to Web3, right? Let's say I start off in Parallel, right? I start playing Parallel, dump a bit of money into it, get some cards, start playing the game, start earning some Prime. Now I've got some Prime in my wallet. And, 3-4 months later, I decide, I'm really not digging this. It's not doing it for me. I want to try something else. So I decide I want to go over and play WAGMI Defense, right? So now I take my Prime that I have in my wallet and I bridge it over to whatever token I need to play WAGMI, right? So now I've taken my assets that I actually own and moved them to another game that I'm gonna play. Now I start playing that game, same thing, 3-4 months later, I decide, not really doing it for me. I wanna go over and I want to play some photo finish. I saw an advertisement for it. It looks good. So I take all my assets, I put them on the market, I sell them, I get the token, I bridge it over to that chain that photo finishes on. Now I have some assets to start off playing the game. Now I've kind of built up my assets that I actually own, and I can start playing the game with some funds behind me. Now again, same thing, 4 months later, I decide I want to sell everything and move my assets to this next game. That's the difference between Web 2 and Web 3. You can actually move what you technically own from one game to another, where Web 2 you can't.
100%. I have a comment on that. Mardo, do you want to go and then I'll make my comment?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I want to ask a question for all the speakers. For the next 2 years, what blockchain do you think will be the best choice for the gaming projects in terms of interoperability? I ask this because for me, the biggest surprise was to see that over 1,000 games are on BNB chain. I was like, wow. And that's more than Polygon and Ethereum combined. And only after that was Avalanche. And I know that Avalanche have a huge focus on the gaming sector. So which of these blockchains, or maybe a new blockchain like Zeta, because Zeta chain, it's one of the newest commerce in terms of interoperability blockchains, and that could be a huge game changer for the games that have different assets as NFTs in the game, as they are focused on that. So any of you could help me with an answer will be great.
You guys are better all say layer 1 or else I'm going to mute all you guys and end this episode right now. No, I'm just kidding. Go for it. Medieval Empire, you had your hand up.
No, I just put my hand down because I wanted to say something different, and now I don't want to say anything else anymore. So layer 1, definitely a good choice. But I wouldn't also make it up based on the amount of games that you have over there. Like Immutable, for example, just has 270 games on there. We are building on Immutable as well, but it also depends on the quality of games, on how many transactions you have over there, the volume, and also the future and the roadmap of it. BNB definitely also a great chain, not as good as layer 1, of course. Damn it, I forgot that this is your space here over here. Otherwise, I would just say layer 1 over here. But yeah, just look at the roadmap of the chains and what they're building, who they are building with. Like on BNB, you might have 1,000 games, but if they're like 999 casual games that just like will disappear in half a year, then they have a lot of games, but maybe not seeing the bigger picture or the future. Is there one game under those 1,000 games that will be the next, I don't know, Fortnite or the next League of Legends or something like this? And then the whole thing will change. Also, if you see, for example, what they're doing with Polygon with the egg layer, I'm not sure if layer 1 is already looking into that, but they also want to put all the ZK EVMs together and build an aggregation layer where you can cross trade all your assets between the different chains with all within one vicinity. I think that's the future. Like not only, hey, which chain are you building on, but also how accessible is the chain? Like, can you easily swap from another chain to that chain, or can you make it available for other chains as well? I think that's rather the future. So everyone that's building and trying to connect and be more, I hate the word interoperable. I think that's what you should look forward to, at least from our perspective over here.
Yep, make a lot of sense. Thanks, man.
Mark, go for it, and then I'll answer Mardo as well.
Yeah, first of all, I want to hear your comment, and then I will drop my little alpha with 3 letters.
So, Mardo, if you haven't learned much about Layer 1X, this is our specialty when it comes to interoperability. And the main thing that we offer that most other people that claim to do interoperability is that we, because we built our own VM, we actually have 2 separate VMs and our own consensus and oracles, which allows us to do some pretty cool stuff where we can move not only assets across EVM and non-EVM chains, we can also move data and logic as well, which a lot of chains can't do. Likewise with bridges, we are not a bridge. We're actually bridgeless. And the difference between us and a bridge is that the main difference is that we act as a universal translator. So you don't have to go build bridges between each of the different chains that you want to connect with. Likewise, when you use a bridge, you have to give up custodial rights of your assets that you're moving from chain to chain. With us, you don't. The user owns the asset all the way through the transaction. They never give up custodial rights. And that's a major, major difference between us and bridges. Likewise with us and other, blockchains as well. So with Layer 1X, it's, you can easily tap into what we call XTalk. I agree with, I think it was, Medieval Empire that stated that he hates the term interoperability. Couldn't agree with you more, my friend. It's an overused cliche word in crypto, and it brings on a lot of different meanings. So we call our interoperability XTalk because there's so many different layers to it that it acts as that or almost like that universal translator, right? And so, along with that, I think it was Mark that was mentioning, moving assets from one chain to another kind of thing. With the power of XTalk, you don't have to move your assets from chain to chain. You can actually keep them all on, Ethereum, Binance, Base, Avalanche, Immutable, Polygon, Solana, all of that, and pull it into a game that's built on Layer 1X or even, like Ronin or, some of these off-chain type of things. So you don't have to move them because of that interoperability and that speed that we have. Currently, we're at about 100,000 TPS with the scalability of up to 500,000 as well. So when it comes to speed, cost, things like that, and the ability to literally join chains, games, projects, users across the crypto space, that's our whole entire ethos of where we're headed. With that kind of being said, there's a lot of unique attributes that you can do with it as well. So, if you have more questions, I'm happy to talk about those a little bit more, but this isn't about us. This is about you guys. So go ahead, Mark, jump in and go for it.
All right. On the question of what chain is going to be the best, I'll just drop a little alpha of 3 letters, SUI.
Right. Thanks, guys, for taking me in here. I gotta jump off. It's been a real pleasure. Hope to see you again. So drop an invite if you want Codified.
Yeah, thanks, Codified, for coming. We appreciate it. So, so we're about 15 minutes over. I did have a few other questions, but I think we'll just kind of end it there just to save people's time and give it back to you guys. So we do appreciate all of our panelists for joining us today. We definitely had a great discussion. Likewise, we are doing a part 2 on this, and I believe that it's going to be on June 3rd at 12 p.m. UTC. So if you guys want to come back and join the conversation again, I highly recommend that you reach out to Inna on our XTalks handle, and she will get you guys scheduled on there as well. But like I said, for all those that are listening, we've had some great panelists today. I highly recommend that you jump on and follow them and follow their projects that they are definitely working on. It sounds like some pretty cool things are coming up, and definitely going to be some great gaming going on. So with that being said, if you guys that did stick with us that are on the panel, if you guys want, take 30 seconds and tell people how they can get in touch with you, how they can follow your project, and go from there, and then just pass it on to the next person. That would be great. Let's start with Medieval Empire. Go for it.
Yeah, best find us here on X. We have our open beta release tomorrow, and then just jump into the game. Go to our website, download, takes like total together until you're in the game, like 3 to 5 minutes. as we have easy onboarding, and then you can start build your town and slay invaders. Thanks for having us today.
Excellent. Thanks for having us.
Damn it. Passing it to Bastian. I think I forgot to pass it on to the next one.
No worries. Thank you, brother. Thank you guys for having us on. It's been a really fun time. I mean, it always is. Looking forward to the next one. To follow us, just go to Bastion, the account I'm talking from. You see our Discord handle there. But following the account, you will see the live streams that we do every week, which give you a glimpse of that demo that's going to be released this month. And there will be prizes for people who are playtesting that demo. So join the Discord, follow us so that you can be one of the first people to play the game and we can hear your feedback. Thank you guys for giving us your time. Thank you for the opportunity, and we'll be here again soon.
Who are you passing it on to?
Let me pass it on to Marto.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, so Dark Times, that's the project that I work with. I'm their community manager, or not community liaison, we'll call it. I would say best thing I can say about it right now, they're going to be launching the full game in fourth quarter this year. It's Diablo meets Fortnite with real financial rewards. Take it for what it is. Keep watching the @Play Dark Times Discord, not Discord, Twitter, and you'll see some of the teasers that are coming out. It's pretty badass. It's a game I'm pretty pumped about. You can reach out to me in DMs. I'm not that famous that I'm not going to answer your DMs. So if you got any questions or just want to chat, just hit me up in the DMs. Ina, I would definitely like to be in part 2. So if you want to hit me up, we can definitely make that work.
Marto, it's up to you.
Work with you all privately, and yeah, we'll happily invite you over again.
Thanks, Leron, for all the explanation, and folks, thanks for hosting the space. Mark, I'm a huge fan of Diablo, so I can't wait to see what's in the pipeline. And to learn more about me and my project, it's called Zash Apps. Just follow all of us on X. Follow my project on X, and the TJ will be actually soon.
Finishing up, like literally.
And we onboarded some of the biggest influencers so far. So thanks again. Have an amazing day. Medieval or who is it?
Yeah, I think we've covered everybody.
Well,
yeah, I think we're definitely good there. So, if you guys want to tune in tomorrow, we have another XTalk episode happening tomorrow, and it's going to be covering WTF is ZKP. So, Marto, I think that's right up your alley for sure. So be sure to tune in on that one. We're going to be talking about zero knowledge proofs and, how they can be leveraged in Web3. So, definitely a great topic for tomorrow's discussion as well. Mark, did you have one last thing you wanted to add? You got your hand up.
Yeah, so I just wanted to, I hope you're good with this, but I wanted to talk about, I got a space tomorrow night that I think it will kind of tie in a little bit with the topic that we were discussing today. I've got a couple people that are doing some gambling projects, and it's basically going to be on, is gambling in Web3 good or bad? They're going to be, one of the guests is going to be Dan Chan from DNA Racing, who his project is basically straight up gambling. And then a couple other devs that are going to be there too. Would definitely welcome anybody here to come hang out and check it out.
Yeah, will you send us a DM with the link to it? We'd like to join as well.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah, by the way.
Oh, go for it.
No, I just wanted to add that I worked more than 15 years in the gambling industry. I was one of the top affiliates in Europe, so it's a topic that I know well in Web 2.
Sweet. All right. Well, yeah, with that being said, guys, thanks again for joining us. We definitely had a great time, great discussion. And to all of our listeners, thanks for tuning in. We will catch you on tomorrow's episode of XTalk happening at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, that is 9 a.m. Eastern Standard or 9 p.m. Western Australian time. So, thanks again, guys. Have a great one, and we will catch you on the next episode. See ya.
Hey, I just wanted to mention I did just pin it up top if you guys want to check it out.
Perfect. Thanks. Appreciate it, Mark. All right, everyone. Have a good one.